I was born in Dalhousie and raised partly in Shimla and in Dharamshala. It was incredible. My father was in the Indian Forest Services, just lived in abundance of nature, went to some great schools, had a great sense of community in the way we were essentially just kind of brought up. I think my aim was just to honestly have a lot of fun while whatever I essentially did. My post-graduation as my MBA and my law, I went to Pune and Symbiosis. At that point in time, really, if you ask me what was the ambition, my ambition was to get exposure to a bigger city. So I really wanted to go and see the world and live outside of my parents' house. I started with this great organization called AMROP. It was in the space of executive search, but somewhere I think I started to develop a little bit of clarity that I want to be in the consulting space. So I do feel that I was given a lot of independence very early in my career. And exactly the reason I was looking for a career in consulting, because it in many ways is very entrepreneurial. I spent some glorious 17 years with Hewitt Associates that later on became Aon after the acquisition in the year 2010, and obviously saw several stages of transformation in the same organization. Nearly at the early age of about 42, 43, I thought I should disrupt myself. I took like 1 year to experiment with myself, doing multiple things. I worked for the government of India. I came in as a special advisor to a few private equity firms. One of that got me introduced to PeopleStrong. Not that PeopleStrong was not known to me. I knew the founder, I knew the organization, but obviously not as well as I knew when I was formally introduced to PeopleStrong. I came on the board. I quite liked the challenge. I quite like the team that I would be a part of. I quite like, I guess, the opportunity that PeopleStrong really had ahead of us. So PeopleStrong is a comprehensive HR tech company that operates across the entire employee lifecycle or the value chain of human capital. We are a SaaS company in that sense. We thrive on the kind of experience that we deliver to over 2 million employees that use our platform on a daily basis, and work with HR to simplify the processes to be able to become a lot more outcome focused from a business and from an employee standpoint. The larger problem that we're solving at HR is to give a very personalized view to every employee's career journey in an enterprise. I was very clear when I left Aon that I had to almost kind of re-engage with myself, restart, and I wanted to be a part of a far younger setup, people that were bubbling with more innovation, more newer ideas. But 8 weeks into the job, we were in the first lockdown. I'd spent a lot of time in just trying to understand what are we doing, what's going to be the unique value proposition of PeopleStrong when we're going to be up against the world's best like SuccessFactors, Oracle, Workday, and many others. A large part of our work was to relaunch our identity in light of the new strategy that we were putting together, which was clearly centered around being a product-first organization. We wanted our product to do most of the talk. So our mobile-first was really coming to life. Today, it is the world's highest-rated HR tech app on Google and on iOS. We also very quickly galvanized ourselves to say, what is that is going to be distinctive? We created and we built the talent operating system. We were again the first ones to actually get it out in the marketplace. The white space that we actually saw in how the technology landscape was set up in those enterprises was very widespread, where they were working with one partner on the core HR, they were working with one partner on multiple of the talent needs, they were working with another partner on payroll and so on and so forth. And I guess the first white space that we saw was enterprises sooner or later would start to value and appreciate the comprehensiveness of one platform, or literally moving everything onto one PeopleStrong. One benefit was we will be able to deliver greater experience because of better integration across multitude of modules that actually all come together to give a very joyful experience to an employee, and a lot more around the simplification and outcome-focused HR that we all really want to see. The second was around one cockpit view on everything that you really needed on your talent as a leadership. The third was around how is that I can get better return on my investment on everything that I'm essentially doing on your tech. In India, I guess the market opportunity around HR tech would be upwards of $600 million. We said our comprehensiveness would essentially sit on 4 strong pillars. We build the world's best platform as a payroll product, which is on cloud. It's our application tracking system, the entire recruitment and onboarding. The third was around our talent management. So we said we will present the world with an integrated talent operating system, because that's really the best way for us to be able to influence and create personalized talent journeys for employees. And the fourth was really around the experience. So our app needs to come across as a super app where it's one window for you to access everything that you've essentially taken for PeopleStrong, but also everything that you have on an environment which is third party outside of PeopleStrong. We will continue to see growth within our existing clients because of our comprehensiveness. We have enough and more to serve more to our existing clients. And also with new client acquisitions that we will continue to doing in a market which is growing at least at around 15 to 18% on an annual basis. We took a strategic call that we want to be able to focus on good growth. We're not just any kind of growth-focused organization. We want to be able to balance our growth with good quality growth in terms of margins, profitability, NPS, client happiness is literally at the center of everything that we end up doing at PeopleStrong. The leader needs to bring balance to everything. Balance to growth, balance to work life, balance to how we really want to be able to create this organization. And you can only bring balance if you're focused on fewer priorities. If you've got 10 priorities, it's almost impossible for you to be able to bring balance to yourself or the company. I think it's been very rewarding, and I do feel that there is a lot ahead of me than behind me. So I'm actually quite thrilled and excited about the many years that are ahead of me in my career and at PeopleStrong. I do believe there could have been multiple alternative paths, right? But I've never really looked at it that way. In fact, very early on, I realized in my career that one of the ways to get to the top of the line is just to be relentless. Don't question the process. Just wake up every morning and just stand in the queue, and you will just figure out that people who are consistent, who have more patience, who are taking it day by day are actually the ones who will get ahead of the queue. And while you will look back and say that there were far more smarter people than I who just left the journey in the middle because they lacked that patience, they lacked that consistency, they didn't have the resolve that it really required for them to give it every day without judging really how the process or how the day would actually turn out for them.